Japan anime news powered by Newtype. This week, we will bring you the latest news as well as notable anime and movie information from Newtype. I am Hisanori Yoshida, a broadcaster from Japan. This program is a podcast that delivers anime information to the world through the multilingual voice translation tool Lingueene. Based on the latest anime information gathered by the editorial team of KADOKAWA's anime magazine Newtype, we will share Japan's anime situation and culture with the world. Please note that this program was recorded on February 10th, 2025, and the translations into languages other than Japanese are done using the AI-powered multilingual voice translation tool Lingueene, which may include inaccuracies. Thank you for your understanding. Today, let's start with the news. First, we received information from the Newtype editorial team about an anime film that is exceptionally popular and generating a lot of buzz, titled Flow. In the anime industry, when you mention Flow, it usually refers to the group that sings the theme song for Code Geass. However, this is not about that. It's about a Latvian animated film set to be released on Friday, March 14th. This film is from the Baltic States and is the winner of the Best Animated Feature at the 82nd Golden Globe Awards in 2025. It has won over 50 film awards, including the Golden Globe, and is attracting attention worldwide. It was nominated in 2 categories at the 97th Academy Awards, Best Animated Feature and Best International Feature Film. This indicates that it is being recognized not just as an animation, but also in broader categories. The film was directed by Gints Zilbalodis from Latvia. Mr. Gints Zilbalodis, this is your second feature film, but your first work, Away, certainly garnered attention, and I watched it as well. It was indeed a silent film, or rather, an animation without dialogue, and honestly, it must have been a solo project, which was quite remarkable. In my perception, it felt like experiencing an incredible indie game, and it was directed by that filmmaker. It became a topic of discussion a few years ago. It's the first time a Latvian film has won a Golden Globe Award with Flood, and this new work depicts the journey of a cat drifting through a world engulfed by floods, struggling against fate and being swept away. It explores what awaits a cat that has decided to leave a city on the brink of disappearing due to a great flood, along with the animals it happens to share a boat with on their adventure. It's definitely CG animation. I watched the trailer this time. After seeing the trailer, I realized that CG really struggles with depicting humans. Humans are extremely interested in other humans, and there are parts of the brain that have developed the ability to distinguish between millions of patterns of human faces and voices. So when humans are depicted in CG, there tends to be a sense of discomfort. The key point is that there is less of that discomfort when it comes to animals. One of the significant advantages of CG is that you can place the camera anywhere. If that is fulfilled, and also considering that you can't direct animals for acting, but with CG, you can direct their performances. Animal films have been particularly strong in CG since long ago. Looking back at history, that's what many have been making, including Disney and Pixar. Even DreamWorks started from that perspective. So, creating this from a completely different foundation like Latvia is truly remarkable. If people see things differently, what they create will also change. The president of the studio behind Demon Slayer mentioned this as well. He said that if they were making it in Tokushima, it would be different because what they observe is different. Recently, in that context, Poland has become incredibly strong in the gaming world. The streets of Poland are completely different from those in Japan, and of course, they are also very different from those in America. There is a certain synchronicity with the heavy atmosphere in games, and I believe that creativity should exist worldwide. Because Japanese anime is predominantly hand-drawn 2D animation, there is an overwhelming proportion of Japanese works in that category. Therefore, elements like railway crossings appear as a matter of course, but the style of railway crossings like that is something you only really see in Japan nowadays. This makes me want to see works from completely different places, which I think is great. By the way, I heard that Away was made entirely by one person. Is that so? But Japan is also a country with many solo creators. Currently, solo creators are indeed very strong in the indie game world, and animation is also seeing similar developments. This week's latest anime news includes the release of the Anime Industry Report 2024, which states that the anime industry market is valued at 3.3 trillion yen, a record high. In Japan, broadcasting slots around 11 p.m. have become a new standard for anime. Indeed, the Noitamina time slot has increased, and there have been discussions about new productions from Nippon TV, while TV Asahi has already adapted to this trend. TBS is also on board, and private broadcasters are truly aligning their efforts. As for theatrical anime, it remains strong, with How Do You Live achieving domestic box office earnings of 8.7 billion yen, along with 7.3 billion yen in North America and 17 billion yen in China. It's no longer just a Japanese production. As a new trend in live entertainment, there are productions like My Neighbor Totoro and Spirited Away being performed in London, as well as the Attack on Titan musical on Broadway. The recognition of Japanese anime and manga origins, particularly for titles like Attack on Titan, is increasing overseas. Recently, I heard that the costume design for Spirited Away is amazing. A Japanese designer is creating the costumes, but the cast varies depending on the production. Since the character traits differ slightly with each cast, the costumes are adjusted accordingly, such as making certain parts dirty, because the character would likely wipe their hands on the hem of their clothes. The designer is making incredibly subtle distinctions, and it's so impressive that during the London production of Spirited Away, the director offered to credit the costume designer right after themselves, but the designer reportedly declined, saying, "That's not how it works in Japan." When I heard that, I thought they should have just credited them. Was there a performance of Sailor Moon in London? It's happening right now. Is it really happening now? They're doing various things. Are they listening to Moonlight Densetsu? Everyone? I wonder how the singing will turn out. I wonder about that too. Is it a Japanese cast? Yui Yokoyama? But actually, there are two Yui Yokoyamas in AKB48. If it's the Yui Yokoyama from Aomori, then it's likely the one who isn't the leader, so it's probably that Yui Yokoyama. Is the London performance happening now? It's happening. It's happening. This is the Yui Yokoyama who is not known as Yuihan from AKB. She has been a guest on the show once. Wow, that's amazing. And as for voice actor news, Back to the Future is being broadcast for 3 consecutive weeks starting February 7th on Friday Roadshow. There are a lot of dubbed versions of Back to the Future, but this time Mamoru Miyano is playing Marty and Koichi Yamadera, who has also played Marty, is playing Doc. In anime-related news, the broadcast date for the new work City the Animation by Kyoto Animation has been decided for July. It's been a while since we've seen something like this from KyoAni, right? The serialization started in 2016 and ended in 2021 in Morning Magazine. It's a girls-run comedy by Keiichi Arai. So far, it has been announced that Mikako Komatsu, Aika Yano, and Yui Ishikawa will be participating, and now Miyu Irino and Azusa Tadokoro have also been announced. Today, it seems like there's a lot of love for Keiichi Arai. The anime Nichiju was exactly by Keiichi Arai, and I think it's historically hilarious, but for some reason it didn't hit at that moment. However, it became recognized for its high quality, leading NHK to rebroadcast it. I believe the overwhelming number of cuts and the good rhythm in the opening of Nichiju are remarkable. So definitely, the song is popular and the show is interesting. I remember the Drifters, a comedy group in Japan, who were also musicians. They would create huge skits for live broadcasts, building entire houses as sets just to destroy them at the end, which gives me a similar sense of craziness. I think it's probably in the same direction as Keiichi Arai, so I expect it to go that way. The new Anpanman movie, the 36th installment titled Go! Anpanman Chapon's Hero, is finally here. Is it pronounced Chapon? Chapon's Hero will be released on June 27th. The story follows Anpanman, who, while on patrol as usual, meets a mysterious boy named Chapon, who falls from the sky. Not knowing where he came from, Chapon learns the joy of helping others and making them smile while spending time with Anpanman and his friends, and he wishes to become a hero, coming to see Anpanman as an older brother. However, the villain Bikenman appears, knowing the secret of Chapon's birth, leading to a shocking truth, including this key visual. This is totally reminiscent of My Hero Academia. Anpanman is like All Might, completely. Oh my. All Might must have read Anpanman as a child. Oh, was there such a scene? Ah, it does seem like All Might would read Anpanman. So, going around in a circle now, indeed. I had never thought of Anpanman while reading My Hero Academia, but this might actually be related. Now, let's talk about director Kazuya Tsurumaki. Yes, right now, Zeke Axe is generating a lot of buzz, but director Kazuya Tsurumaki's first directorial work was FLCL. Yes, that was quite a while ago. I believe it was around 2005. Oh, wait, it was in 2000 since it's the 25th anniversary. There is currently a limited time free release on YouTube. It consists of 6 episodes in total. By the way, the first batch, episodes 1 to 3, will be available until 8:59 p.m. on the 21st. The second batch, episodes 4 to 6, is scheduled to be released from 9 p.m. on the 15th to 8:59 p.m. on the 28th. When you think about it, it was really an experimental work that was trying hard to explore new avenues after Evangelion. At that time, it was produced by Gainax, the studio that created Evangelion. There's a strong feeling that they were driven by the urgency to discover the next form of visual expression after Evangelion. Ultimately, it shows just how remarkable Evangelion was. It had such sharp visual expression that everyone was able to appreciate it. To surpass something like that, they had to venture into experimentation, which is why FLCL has such a high level of experimental quality. One more very important thing about FLCL is the music by the Pillows. However, the other day, they disbanded without saying anything. I was surprised. The day after they had a regular live performance, they announced, "We will disband." And it wasn't even a farewell concert. That was surprising. We don't really know what led to that, but that's where we stand. So, that concludes this week's anime news. Yes, and I received an email from Capin again this week. You're already a reporter, right? You're a regular correspondent, aren't you? That's right, a correspondent. Thank you very much. Hello, Yoshida-san, this is Capin. Thank you for always reading. No, thank you for your emails. I was wondering if it's not too much trouble for you. Every time something I want to write comes to mind, so I enjoy writing the emails. Thank you. Many anime are broadcast quarterly, but with limited time. It's a dilemma which ones to watch. I think many people choose interesting works based on trailers and such. That's right. I like metal and hard rock music, and this season I happened to learn that Bandmade is in charge of the opening song for Zenshu, and I thought, this is it, and decided to watch it. Bandmade. They have indeed come to Nippon Broadcasting a few times as guests, and while they have a somewhat quirky way of speaking with a bit of a twist at the end, I have heard that they are more popular overseas than in Japan, and that can indeed be a point of interest. In this program, Yoshida sometimes talks about this work, and I find it interesting to listen to the connections or triggers that led to it. You may already know, but Bandmade is quite popular in Europe and America, and they have done several tours in the US after COVID. Unbeknownst to me, my former boss, who is now nearly 70 and already retired, has attended their live shows twice. It's hard to know where it all reaches. This is what it's like. By the way, should I let Kapeini know as well? I have to take paid leave this March. Recently, Nippon Broadcasting System has been becoming a proper company, and it's a given not to ask how it was before. But apparently, if I don't take my paid leave by March, the company will get in trouble from somewhere. So they told me to take it. I can't help it. When they said, "Isn't recording this podcast just for fun?" I felt that way too. But since I'm at the company, I've decided to take leave from March 10th to 15th to go to South by Southwest, a festival of film, music, and interactive media held in Austin, Texas. The reason I'm going is because of a Japanese idol and singer-songwriter named Chaki Mayumura, who is a unique and sharp presence. This person is truly unconventional. Last year, I attended South by Southwest, which I've been to twice, and it's an incredibly free and fun event, so I told her to definitely check it out, and she came back deeply moved. When I held a report meeting about South by Southwest in Shimokitazawa this time, I was invited as a guest because I was the one who sparked the idea. I believe that otaku culture, especially idol fans in Japan, is wonderful. Mayumura once said that this way of enjoying things should be exported overseas, and I completely agree with that. So I encouraged everyone in front of the fans. I said, let's all go to South by Southwest. And since I said that, it would be strange if I didn't go too. So I've decided to attend South by Southwest this time to see Chaki Mayumura. So, at that time, I introduced a person named Yellow, who is in a band called P. Rander Z, that I became friends with at the old South by Southwest, and is also a painter. After I introduced them, the two of them became really close. And this time, Chiaki Mayumura is also participating in Yellow's event. Yellow is incredibly interesting, by the way. He brings the Super Sentai concept to America and performs in a band using that system. He became so popular over there that a documentary about him was made. Yellow invited me and said, "Hey Yoshida, how about DJing?" So there's a possibility that I might be DJing at a satellite event happening in Austin, Texas during South by Southwest, although I'm not really sure what it will be. However, I don't have an artist visa, so I would just be going to press the play button. After all, it's paid leave. It's not work. Since I don't have a working visa, I can't do that. there won't be any payment for me. There might be someone who buys me a beer just for fun, but please think of it that way. Yes, this concludes the Japan anime news powered by Newtype with Hisanori Yoshida. When posting your thoughts about the show on social media, please use the hashtag JAnime. If you have any feedback about the show or anime news you'd like me, Yoshida, to discuss, please feel free to send me an email. Also, if there are any experts on the anime scene in Austin, I would really like to hear from you. However, there is someone named Michael Tom who lives in Texas and has been continuously watching Japanese anime and idols from Texas while actively participating in online events. He mentioned that he would come to meet me. I will meet Michael Tom in Austin. We will bring you the latest anime news again next week. This was Hisanori Yoshida from Nippon Broadcasting System.